leadership of the CPSU considers it to be its duty to tell the party and the people honestly and frankly about the shortcomings in our political and practical activities, the unfavorable tendencies in the economy and the social and moral sphere, and about the reasons for them. For a number of years, the deeds and actions of party and government bodies tailed behind the needs of the times and of life, not only because of objective factors, but also for reasons above all of a subjective nature. The problems in the country's development built up more rapidly than they were being solved. Signs of stagnation had begun to surface in the life of society. That sort of attitude is much too costly for the country, the state, and the party. And so let us say it loud and clear. The party must renew itself on Leninist principles as the political vanguard develop its potential. This is expected by society. This is expected by all of socialism, and I can tell you by the progressive world. And I'm sure that the CPSU can cope with this. It's making a daring analysis, took the responsibility upon itself and exposed itself to criticism. Everyone now is criticizing the CPSU in the country and throughout the world. That's all right. Only a strong party is capable of withstanding all of this, comprehend, work out a policy, and lead society. Such a party can rightfully call itself the political vanguard. I will never agree with, and with this I stand, I'm telling you honestly and directly, this position of mine is firm. If we do not include the peoples into the processes, no apparatus, we have 18 million of them in the country today, and we annually spend 40,000 million rubles for their upkeep, will be able to do anything. And so, has it coped with its administration? No, it didn't, because that is not the right system in the management of the economy, in the administration of society as a whole. We need that, what we're talking about today, and that's what we have been doing 3 years in a row to follow this road. I'm convinced we are on the right road. At this conference, we must honestly, in a party-like manner, agree. We really are speaking about the fate of the country, how we're going to live in the future, how we're going to build our relations. In general, at this conference, when we're pondering on how we're going to live further, we must not think about the chair I'm going to occupy tomorrow, but must think about the country, the people, the fate of our country. That's when we shall find the right road. Put the pressure on, comrades. Put it on. We from the top, you from the bottom. That's the only way to attain perestroika. There's no other way. You know, like a press, like with a vice, from both sides, from both sides. If pressure exerted from only one side, it'll move along to the opposite side. We're now going through the most difficult years, the most difficult. But we withstood even greater tests. When it was a matter of life or death, we held out. And today the question doesn't stand as a matter of life or death, but the issue is the fate of our state and the people, about our fate. Fates may differ, and so this too. That's how the question stands. And I would like to wish you all the very best. Here's a war veteran, and he says, we learned that the Armenian people are not alone, that the whole country's with us, and I want to speak on this subject, that the subject of Karabakh and what happened there had an effect on the Armenians, on the Azerbaijanians, on the peoples. But Karabakh has already been put aside. In what way you are concerned about Karabakh? The people, that is, the workers, farmers, intellectuals, all working people. And there are those who saw that Perestroika is here, that the leadership of Armenia has been replaced, that a new, young leadership has come to the fore in Azerbaijan. There are young, honest people, not tied up with corruption or with those who made huge profits in the workshops in the millions. They do not need this Perestroika. Those in Azerbaijan are hollering at the top of their voices, we will not give up Karabakh. And here it's also said, return Karabakh to us, provoking. The people there are being whipped up, and here too, workers are pitted against one another, and all this in order to retain their underground workshops. They've entrenched themselves in power here and want to keep their millions. That's what we have in mind. We'll fetter them out, let them know this. I'm telling them this over the radio and television, and you, I beg of you, you must do everything, understand, so that the people will not cross swords. Blood has already been spilt and continues to flow. Where shall we go from here? Where shall we go from here? All must put a stop to this. We will not permit this. The central government will not tolerate this anymore. We must move in all directions, in economic perestroika and in political perestroika, and I tell you, and cultural perestroika. And now, why are things so bad? Why is it so difficult? We have left one thing behind and have not approached the other. It has not clicked yet. That is why there is instability, interruptions, stoppages. That's why it's obligatory for us to master new methods of economic management, and it's necessary for the Soviets to work in a new way, and the party too, so that would be responsive and cherished and would understand the impulses coming from society. That is the party also. Everyone must restructure. This is a painful process. This is all of us. Must we be afraid of this? No, we must not. I think there is one thing that is necessary. The main thing to bypass, comrades, to prevent any types of cataclysms, chaos, bloodletting. We must prevent this. But we are in need of a change. We cannot live like this. And do this as we have been doing. I think you'll agree with this. There is a dire need for change. Esteemed comrade deputies, events are taking place in the Kremlin these days, meaning that the political history of the Soviet Union, in pain, in a struggle with difficulties and complications, is entering a new democratic stage. Amidst contradictions and fierce clashes, a new Soviet parliament is being born. A new system of state mechanism is being formed, which in practice includes all citizens in the difficult task of self-management.
Mr. Gorbachev arrived in London to get revenge in a very civilized way. His decision was to discuss different opinions with the Prime Minister of England, Margaret Thatcher. He criticized the Prime Minister who insists on modernization of nuclear weapons. Mr. Gorbachev provided the statistical data of the Warsaw Treaty. He was not even speaking about the all-European House, what Margaret Thatcher and her advisors were waiting for.
In the past few years, a genuine possibility has appeared to close the last page of post-war history and step forward into a new peaceful period. Banking on force is a dangerous position, leading to a blind alley. Decades of the Cold War were too costly for the East and the West. A continuation of total antagonism may transform into a catastrophe for all. Such is the objective logic of world politics at its present stage, and our new political thinking is being built according to its laws. And we believe in the genuine possibility of attaining a safe, nuclear-free world.
Wobec oczekujących Polaków Michail Gorbaczew zaakcentował, że pierwszy dzień spotkań i rozmów z Wojciechem Jaruzelskim był owocny. Wysoko cenimy, powiedział, osobę polskiego przywódcy.
In such cases we say that you're great and I would like to wish you every success.
Aus dem Interview mit dem Bundesaußenminister Hans-Dietrich Genschow, die Frage, der Außenminister, der Russe Michail Gorbatschow, kommt nach einer Einladung von dem Bundeskanzler am 12. Juni nach Polen. Wie schätzen Sie, ob sein Projekt eines europäischen Hauses mit der Konzeption eines gemeinsamen Europamarktes im Jahr 1939 übereinstimmt? Ich sehe die Sachen ähnlich wie der französische Präsident François Mitterrand. Was eigentlich Michail Gorbatschow als europäisches Haus bezeichnet, ist nur eine andere Form der gleichen Idee. Ich meine, die Bundesrepublik Deutschland und Frankreich müssen dabei eine wichtige Rolle spielen.
Mikhail Gorbatchev, secrétaire général du Parti communiste de l'Union soviétique, est arrivé mardi à Paris. Il a été accueilli chaleureusement par François Mitterrand, président de la République française. L'Union soviétique et la France sont convenus de développer leur coopération dans les domaines économiques, scientifiques et humanitaires à l'issue des entretiens qui ont lieu jeudi à Paris entre Mikhail Gorbatchev et François Mitterrand. Ce qui est l'essentiel, c'est que l'Union soviétique a proposé des nouvelles conceptions du développement mondial, sécurité internationale, coexistence pacifique à l'époque actuelle. Mikhail Gorbatchev a déclaré que l'Union soviétique est toujours prête à participer à la mise en place d'une coopération pacifique mutuellement avantageuse entre États fondée sur les principes de l'égalité, du respect mutuel et de la non-ingérence dans les affaires intérieures.
Ladies and gentlemen, Europeans can stand up to the challenge of the coming century only by joining their efforts. We are convinced they need one Europe, peaceful and democratic, retaining all its diversity and adhering to general humane ideals, flourishing and stretching out its hand to the rest of the world. A Europe assuredly stepping into the day of tomorrow, and we see our own future in such a Europe.
Европа уверенно идущая в завтрашний день. В такой Европе мы видим собственное будущее.
苏联最高苏维埃主席团主席、苏共中央总书记戈尔巴乔夫应中华人民共和国主席杨尚昆的邀请，于5月15日至18日对中国进行了正式访问。这是苏联最高领导人自1959年以来的首次访问中国。中苏两国是山水相连的近邻，两国人民有着传统的友谊。在过去30年的岁月中，两国关系经历了曲折的历程。今天，中国和苏联这两个最大社会主义国家的最高领导人之间的会晤，标志着世界上最长的陆地边界上的军事对抗的消失，从而使中苏两国关系进入了一个新的阶段。访问期间，戈尔巴乔夫主席同邓小平举行了会晤，还同中国的其他政党领导人进行了会见和会谈，双方就两国关系问题和当前的国际问题交换了意见。
I guess the France press. Mr. Gorbachev, have you seen any of the students and what do you think about their demands?
Yes, I saw the students, but maybe fewer than you did.
What lessons will you take home to the Soviet Union from that experience?
The processes taking place in the socialist countries are irreversible. This is not a cosmetic repair. These are changes which deeply affect all spheres of society of these socialist states. Some have seen in this a crisis of socialism, but I'm convinced that we are witnessing a very serious change in the development of world socialism. This process is taking place in all countries with different intensity, with due consideration to the specifics of each state. Different rates, maybe with different depths of transformations, but all this is dictated by a concrete situation.
Может быть, и с разной глубиной преобразований, но это диктуется конкретной ситуацией.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthems of the Soviet Union and the United States of America.
можно даже обменяться. Что если споры кипят, то истина испаряется.
We need a dialogue, an open, direct, honest dialogue.
We find ourselves standing like this. Лучше вот так вот стоять. Хорошо. Каким человечество войдет в 21 век?
What will humanity be like as it enters the 21st century? Thoughts about this already very near future are engaging people's minds. While we look forward to the future with the anticipation of a change for the better, we also view it with alarm. The greatest philosophers try to understand the laws of social development and find the answer to the main question, how to make human life happier, fairer, and more secure. Two great revolutions, the French Revolution of 1789 and the Russian Revolution of 1917, exercised a powerful impact on the very nature of the historic process, having radically changed the course of world developments. These two revolutions, each in its own way, gave a huge impulse to human progress. But today, a new world is emerging, and we must look for new ways of its future development. We are entering an era in which progress will be based on the common interests of the whole of humankind. If a world civilization, possibly the only one in the universe, is to remain viable, it's precisely these steps that we must take in a joint quest for the supremacy of the idea central to all mankind over the multitude of centrifugal trends.